Frank Beard might be the only member of ZZ Top without a beard, but he's the one who kept the band's rhythm razor sharp. As the drummer and timekeeper for one of rock's most iconic trios, Beard's steady groove and unshakable cool gave ZZ Top their swagger. While Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill grabbed the spotlight with their beards and bluesy riffs, Frank was the quiet engine, driving the sound that defined Texas rock. Born on June 11, 1949 in Frankston, Texas, Frank Lee Beard grew up surrounded by music. From a young age, he was drawn to rhythm, the pulse that makes songs come alive. Inspired by jazz greats and early rock drummers, he developed a clean, precise, yet deceptively powerful style. By his teens, he was already playing in local bands, sharpening his craft in smoky clubs and honky-tonks across the Lone Star State. Before ZZ Top, Beard played in several regional groups, including the Cellar Dwellers, the Hustlers, and eventually American Blues, a psychedelic rock outfit that also featured guitarist Dusty Hill. The two musicians bonded over their shared love of blues and Texas soul. When they met Billy Gibbons in 1969, lightning struck. Together, they formed ZZ Top, a trio that would soon fuse blues, boogie, and humor into a sound that could only come from Texas. From the very beginning, Frank Beard was more than just a drummer. He was the glue. His tight, consistent playing allowed Gibbons and Hill the freedom to riff, experiment, and harmonize. Songs like LaGrange, Tush, and Waiting for the Bus showcased his sense of groove, steady as an oil pump jack but full of personality. Whether it was a shuffle, a swing, or a straight-ahead rock beat, Frank always knew exactly what the song needed. ZZ Top's early albums, including Tres Hombres and Fandango, turned them into Southern rock royalty. Frank's drumming, rooted in blues but polished with precision, helped define their signature Texas boogie sound. But behind the success, Beard's life was turbulent. By the mid-1970s, he was struggling with substance abuse, living the fast life that came with fame. In later interviews, he admitted to spending several years lost in addiction, a period that nearly derailed both his life and the band. In 1976, ZZ Top took a long hiatus. During that time, Frank cleaned up his life, getting sober and rediscovering his focus. When the band returned in 1979 with Degüello, they came back stronger, funkier, and more unified than ever. The addition of synthesizers and a slicker sound in the 1980s gave ZZ Top a new edge, and Frank adapted perfectly. His drum machine, tight timing on hits like Sharp Dressed Man, Legs, and Gimme All Your Lovin' was the backbone of their MTV-era reinvention. Through decades of change, one thing never wavered: Frank Beard's professionalism. While Gibbons and Hill were the visual icons, Beard was the band's quiet rock, business-minded, punctual, and famously grounded. He handled much of the band's logistics and earned the nickname, the guy who shows up on time. His sense of humor and humility balanced the trio's larger-than-life image. Frank's style is deceptively simple. He doesn't rely on flashy fills or overplaying. Instead, he focuses on feel. His drumming is all about the pocket, that invisible space where groove lives. From the blues-driven pulse of Jesus Just Left Chicago to the high-octane drive of Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, Frank's touch remains unmistakable. Even after the passing of Dusty Hill in 2021, Frank continued touring with Billy Gibbons and new bassist Elwood Francis, ensuring that ZZ Top's spirit and sound stayed alive. More than 50 years after their first jam, he's still keeping the beat strong, a testament to endurance, discipline, and pure love of the groove. Frank Beard's story is proof that not all rock legends need to shout to be heard. He's the heartbeat behind the Beard, the drummer who turned rhythm into art, silence into swing, and 3 chords into eternity. He may be the beardless one in ZZ Top, but make no mistake, without Frank Beard, the band's iconic boogie would never have had its bite.